Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another Theme Park Obsession video. My name is Dylan and thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. Today I'm back at Universal Studios Hollywood to check up on the park because there's a lot going on. We have the construction happening in front of me here in the parking lot outside of City Walk. We have the City Walk construction and updates happening there with the store closures and all that. Then we have the Fast and the Furious roller coaster. I wanted to talk about Fan Fest nights a little bit later on in today's video and just general park updates on top of that. So it's going to be a very long video. Be sure to grab your snacks, your coffee, your tea, your beverage of choice, whatever it's going to be. Because if you've ever seen the extended cut of The Lord of the Rings, I have a feeling I'm going to be repeating that in today's video. I think it's going to be like a 6-hour video. We'll see what happens. There's a lot to cover. So without further ado, how about you and I dive right in? Oh yeah, nice, beautiful day. And it's a beautiful day to start doing some work in the parking lot. That's what these crew members are doing. I believe they're taking down some trees right now. So sad faces for the trees. It's a bit unfortunate. And we also have some crew members taking out the pavers off in the distance. I'm not going to zoom in too much just because I want to try to avoid showing people's faces. But as you can see, yeah, a lot of work happening over here on this end of the Woody Woodpecker lot. This is all allegedly supposed to be a new hotel. And I think this is just the start of a few different things. I mean, when they build a hotel, they got to build like the infrastructure and all the stuff needed. So this could be a multi-package thing. It's not just going to be a hotel. I'm sure there's going to be more to it than that. But lots of work happening in the lot already. It didn't really take them that long to get started on all of this, which is really, really exciting. So I'm very curious. It looks like they're going to take down the palm trees, which is a bit of a bummer. I thought they were going to go ahead and keep these, but there's clearly a grand vision for all of this, and it looks like they're going to go ahead and take down one of the palms. What's interesting is I'm surprised they're not just cutting the palm down from the base, or maybe they are. Okay, so it looks like they're going to cut the palm at the base and then pull it so it doesn't fall into the parking structure. Alrighty, they're starting to cut the palm tree. Sad faces for the palm tree. It's okay, I'm sure they have a beautiful landscaping design for whatever they're doing here. Again, this is all just one big giant cotton candy stand until the park says something. Let's see. Yeah, I think they started off with that far palm. I've never cut down a palm tree. I wonder how difficult it is. And then, yeah, they have like a rope tied to that piece of equipment right here. So again, it doesn't fall to the parking structure. Because that would not be good. I'm gonna keep it rolling here. This is some riveting content. Alrighty, there she goes. Slowly but surely. Alright. Dang. Ooh, that kind of startled me. Holy moly, that thing slammed on the ground. Well, that's one palm tree out of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know how far they're gonna go. I'm assuming all of them along the building here. Wow, that was kind of intense. And then it looks like from there they're just gonna go ahead and chop it up into pieces, and then I'm sure they'll grind it up and maybe they'll use it as mulch throughout the park. You never know. I'm sure they got some sort of plan for it. Or they might just send it off somewhere else. But yeah, I'm really curious how many more trees are going to go. If this project takes up the entirety of the Woody Woodpecker lot, I would assume that all of the trees, unfortunately, will go. But like I was just saying, I'm sure they have a beautiful landscaping thing going on to replace all this stuff. And all of the markers are still on the ground too. They haven't started digging up the asphalt. Let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit. You can see all those markings on the ground here. And I'm sure once they finish with this side, they'll extend all the way into the rest of the Woody Woodpecker lot. That's pretty much all the work happening on that end though. So let's continue the journey inside the theme park. So we got to talk about the Fast and the Furious coaster. They've been making some really good progress on that lately. Oh, hello, King Kong. Nice to see you. Yeah, King Kong is very excited for all the changes happening here at Universal Studios. I mean, how can you not be excited? There's just so much happening. Universal has been so aggressive lately, and I'll talk about this a little bit later on in the video, but the Fan Fest nights, OMG. Yeah, Universal invited me out the other day to get a little sneak preview of all of that stuff, and I gotta say, I am thoroughly impressed. I think Fan Fest nights is gonna be really cool, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. First up, let's make our way inside the park to talk about that beautiful roller coaster they're building. Yeah, and for those wondering, I went for the wavy hair today because of the roller coaster. You know, I got to do the wavy hair for the roller coaster talk. Just makes sense. Made it through security, and look at this. They've officially taken down all of the Christmas decorations. That's right, Christmas. Get out of here. Oh yeah, upon entering, look at this. Not bad at all. This is a great day to ride the rides and enjoy the park when it's not shoulder to shoulder like how I did the other day with friends Hannah and Paul. That was a lot of fun. Cruising around the park, enjoying Super Nintendo World, the studio tour, and it was like this. It wasn't that busy at all. But for good measure, we always have to check the wait times. Let's see, yeah, no wait for Secret Life of Pets, 5 minutes for both Harry Potter attractions, only 15 minutes for Mario Kart. That's pretty awesome. And the longest wait is The Simpsons. That is just because of its capacity. I always get people asking me that, like, why is The Simpsons so long? It's the hourly capacity is not very good. All right, let's see what's going on over here at the lookout. I know crews have been working every day. They were even here this past Sunday, the time of making this video, and they were working on Sundays. So they're really wanting to get this thing done as quickly as possible. Wow. Okay, let me spin you guys around. There's so much that it's been a few days since my last update video because the last video I had here was just, you know, farting around video. So as far as updates go, I think it's been a little over a week, and just in a little over a week, there's been a significant amount of progress. So let me spin you around. Hold on, everybody. Make sure you're tugging on those yellow safety straps. Yeah, look at this. Let's start off on this end where the inversion for the turnaround is going to be, and eventually we'll make our way over here. But look at the sound wall going in. That thing is massive. Holy moly. Let me zoom in. Hold on. I mean, we knew it was going to be a large steel structure, but when you see it in person, I mean, it's gargantuan. Holy moly. Yeah, and that's going to extend all the way over here too to the far end where this will be another concrete wall. But the structural steel is going in, so it looks like those pieces that were staged on the far end over there are for this wall. And then it'll extend over here as well and eventually make its way to the end of, or the start of Timeline Road. But wow, that's pretty impressive. And here's the base of the new steel columns that have gone in. So these round ones right here are going to be for the coaster, and then these square ones are for the massive sound wall. And I'm sure they're going to put either some steel in between those, or it's going to be a different material to help absorb all of that noise. But I don't think the coaster is going to be that noisy in general. I think most of the sound they're going to try to dampen is just the sound from people. Because we do know for a fact that these columns, a lot of them are going to be filled with sand. And when you fill them with sand, it does help out tremendously with sound. Because all coasters have this like roar to them. A lot of B&M coasters have a very loud roar. And then, you know, like here with Intamin, it's clearly Intamin now that we've seen all this track go in. But when you fill these coasters with sand, the sound completely changes and it's super quiet. Very similar to what Knott's Berry Farm did when they built Silver Bullet. Silver Bullet had to be filled with sand because of the park's proximity to the city. It's literally right in the middle of a neighborhood. So that's why they had to fill that one with sand. Same thing here. So I think the coaster itself will be very quiet, but the screams from people is probably what they're trying to lower, and that's what this is going to be for. Now I wonder how tall it's going to get over here. I wonder if it's going to get a little bit taller because of the elements are a little bit bigger over on this end, or if it's going to kind of stay the same height. Now, speaking of some track work and columns, Some new track went in over here. Look at that. The block section has now officially been connected to this portion of the layout, which is really cool. Look at that. The profiling on this is nice. And what's cool is who knows what direction we're going to be facing. You know, we don't need to be necessarily going into this block section facing forward. We could be going backwards for all we know. You know, we could be spinning around backwards to this moment, and then all of a sudden spinning again when we come out of it, going towards the dive loop inversion. So yeah, it looks really good over here. But this area, pretty much done. So now the next pieces of track are probably going to be right here. And then off in the distance around the crane, they did put in some new track. It's kind of hard to see from this angle, but we'll see that in just a minute. And then looking towards the main show building, you can see a lot of the brickwork has pretty much been complete all the way up to the quick service dining that's in front of Fast and the Furious, that little Mexican restaurant. Looks like they've gone all the way to the front there. And I believe they're starting around the corner as well. When I was walking over here, it looked like that's what they were doing, but I could be wrong. Lots of crew members over here working in this area. But like I've been saying in the past couple videos, the progress is so quick. It's so much fun to watch. They're moving so fast on this. Fast and furious. This element is a lot of fun to look at just because, again, the profiling is spot on, and again, just the curiosity that's going through my head of like what this is going to feel like. Oh my goodness. They just were putting some materials in there. That's what that noise was, if you all heard it in the background. They're clearing out whatever they've been working on up there. And I'm sure there's a lot of activity happening in that building. But yeah, coming out of this inversion into that sharp turn before the block section is going to be a lot of fun, I think. It's going to be really cool. This coaster's epic. I mean, it's already shaping up to be an amazing addition. So this is pretty much your view from the lookout. Nothing going on over here. It's just the sound wall, and then off in the distance, let me zoom in a little bit more here. There's some crew members working on that. And since the scaffolding is up over there, we might see some concrete work here in the next couple days, which will be really exciting. And you can see, because of the rain, they've wrapped the bases of some of these support columns because the concrete work hasn't been finished. There's a lot of exposed steel that, you know, hey, if they can wrap it up and prevent some early rusting, then they're gonna go ahead and do that. And the rain, by the way, like speaking of all that, it really hasn't delayed them that much. Maybe, you know, maybe by a day, if that, but I feel like they've made up for it already, and they've been working consistently, like I was just saying. So I don't think the rain really affected them at all. It is such a beautiful mess down there. Like there's so much concrete and wood and steel, and there's just a lot of it. I can't wait for the track to go in down there too. It's gonna be really cool. Now, before I move on to the front half of the building, you can see these are the newest pieces of track that they've installed. This goes over the escalator. So not quite an inversion. I wasn't really sure what the profiling was going to be like over the escalator, because again, we really haven't seen a conceptual image of this roller coaster from Universal. We've seen like a very basic one that they put out for the city, but they haven't given us any sort of POV or anything like that. So it's all been a mystery as far as how steep the drops are, how tight the curves are going to be. And it looks like this curve over the escalator, yeah, it's not an inversion, but it's going to be a pretty good dive down into the lower half of the escalator there. But since my last update video, like another 4 pieces of track have gone up over there, so that's really exciting. Okay, voiceover Dylan here. As I was editing this video, I was like, I forgot to talk about this segment right here. And I was able to get another shot of this area the other day when I was hanging out with my friends Hannah and Paul. But they've been working on this part of the structure, which is, I'm thinking, the queue space. For the past few weeks now, a lot of focus has been over here. A lot of structural steel has gone in, and a lot of people online are saying this is part of like the extended queue or whatever, which would be kind of cool because that structure that went up that's on the left-hand side of your screen right now, which went up like a couple months ago. I wasn't really sure if that was going to be part of the queue or if that was just a show element for the layout, but it's looking like this might be part of the queue, which we might get some really cool views down into the layout. So maybe some very large windows that overlook down into the coaster layout and into the lower lot. And if that ends up being true, yeah, I think this is going to be a really nice area of the queue space. And that's probably why the scaffolding hasn't uh, been put back up in this spot. Because remember, a while back, they took the scaffolding down, and that brickwork that's at the top of the building is clearly unfinished. You can see in this shot right here, it hasn't gone all the way down to the lower level just yet. But you can kind of make out just by the steel that this could be the beginnings of floor space. So either this is part of the main queue that we're going to be going through every single time, or this is extended queue. But if it's normal queue and they put some windows up here that look down into the lower lot, I think that's going to be pretty awesome, and that's something to look forward to. In the next update video, I'll be sure to get some more views of this. I only have these 2 photos because as I was editing this video today, I was just like, oh dang, I forgot to talk about the potential queue space. So yeah, overall, this is what it's looking like the past couple days. And yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on it. I think here in the next couple months, after they install the track in this spot, they will start to work on enclosing this area. Because remember, the track does get really close to that spot. That's where that valley is before we head over the escalator. So that will also be that final launch, that last bit of momentum we need to go over the escalator. So maybe we'll have a nice view into that as well in that section of the queue, or the potential queue. So yeah, just a little update on that area of the project. Okay, here in front of Potter, look, that brick has indeed gone to the front of the building. So that's going to look really nice when they take all the scaffolding down. I wasn't really sure if that brick texture was going to go all the way around the building, but it looks like it is. So I don't know what it looks like beyond this section. It's kind of hard to tell with the tree and then the rest of the scrim, but at least the front facing part of it is covered with that same, ooh, wow, that was very loud. The front of it's covered with that same brick that we see on the back end, on the sides. Okay, I've made my way around the corner to the escalator, and this looks so fun. Like this is gonna be such a fun ride. It's not the craziest element right here. It's just a sharp turn down into a dive below the footpath here. But how cool! Coming out of the stall and then up and over this, I think is gonna be really, really fun. And again, we're gonna be spinning, so maybe we're gonna be facing down to the escalator. That'd be kind of neat. That is just so crazy. Like, I've been coming to this park for a long time, and I would have never thought in a million years that there was gonna be a massive roller coaster, you know, flying over the top of the escalators. This is awesome. What a cool moment for Universal. Yeah, and since my last video, I think, yeah, it stopped like right here. So they've put in, let's see, 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4 pieces at least. Really, really good progress. Shout out to the crews, as always, for just knocking it out of the park. They still have the crane over here, and there's another crane that's staged at the top deck here. So it could be used for the few more pieces they gotta do. But as far as like the scary stuff, it's done, because this is, I mean, when you really think about it, this is a very intense install, because if something doesn't go right, then you compromise this. So I'm really happy that it worked out great, and the pieces are ready to go. Let me zoom in just a little bit so you can see the profiling on this. So yeah, we're gonna turn right here. Who knows what direction we're gonna be facing. Hauling some serious butt down below the escalator right here. That's gonna be a great head chopper moment right here. Really good head chopper. And then here's just a slightly different view of the newly installed track. This is over by the exit of Simpsons. Yeah, really good view. This is so cool. I love roller coasters. If you couldn't already tell, I'm obsessed with roller coasters. I can only imagine what the view is at the top of the Comcast building off there in the distance. I'm sure this thing looks so cool. I mean, you can see it from the freeway. I didn't get footage from the freeway. There was a lot of crazy drivers on the road, so I didn't want to even attempt it. But you can see this element from the freeway. It's pretty epic. It's another really good spot. It's gonna be so much fun to just sit here and watch people's reactions going through this finale. Because yeah, this is the end of the ride right here. We'll do this turn, one more inversion, which is this bad boy right here, and then into the brake run. So to see people's reactions from this angle I think is gonna be pretty satisfying. And in the next couple days, if we're lucky, they'll install these pieces that go down into this area, which will be another launch to give us the momentum, and then the stall. So maybe the stall might be the last to go up. It is, I think, the tallest portion of the attraction. So maybe that's where they'll put the flag, and the topping off ceremony will happen on the stall. But I give it like maybe a week or two, and I think this entire area will be done. They'll put in another 8 to 10 pieces of track, depending on how large they are. Where's the connection piece to this? So we might get 2 right here. So it'll be 1, this is a shorter piece. You can see the joint. Let me zoom in. Yeah, you can see right there. So just a little tiny guy, but kind of moving down, since there is a gap, a pretty sizable gap from this one to, where is it at? Right there? It might be 2 pieces. And that might happen either tonight or the next couple days. At this pace, they're moving fast. And this is why the equipment's right here. We got the crane right there, we have this right here. So when we see all this move, that's when you know, okay, they're done with this, they're gonna move on to a different part of the layout. But for right now, I think this is where the main focus is gonna be. I love that. Let's kind of walk down a little bit. Let me watch my step. I wouldn't want to tumble down the stairs. That would not be good. That would make for a pretty hilarious thumbnail, but I don't know if I'm down to go ahead and do that. I could give you guys a good laugh and just do it, but maybe not today. Maybe next week I'll do it. No, just kidding. Don't fall down the stairs. That's not safe. I'm really excited for these pieces just because I'm kind of curious what kind of little breather we're going to get after the stall. I don't think it's going to be that much of a breather. I think we're going to come directly out of the stall, down the drop, and then boom, into the boost, up and over the escalator. I think this is going to be a pretty intense spot of the layout. It looks like there's more intense spots than I originally thought there were going to be on this thing, which is really nice. Now remember, there's still a lot of work to be done on this end because they're going to be putting a little scream shield around this, and I'm sure some protection so loose articles don't fall down into the, onto the roof of this or onto the stairs. It's still going to be a wonderful view regardless, but they still have some things to put on this end of the layout. I think there's a couple moments on the ride where there are going to be some of those scream shields. I think the next set of them will be on the far end where the turnaround is located. This, I think, will all be a sound wall over here. This might be a big giant sound wall on this end. And because that footer hasn't been touched yet, that's probably what that's for, is the scream shield addition on this. Because there's a few other footers over there too that haven't been used by the support columns. So they'll attach whatever they got to do up there, and then it'll come down to this. Or this could be part of a sound wall. This could be, the start of something right here. I don't know. Okay, this angle, it just, it gets even more epic. Like when you're standing right underneath it, you start to realize that, oh wow, this is no joke. I mean, there's people taking pictures. This person's taking a picture. I've seen multiple people stop while I've been here just looking at it, taking pictures. Talk about some easy advertisement. Like, hey, we got to make a trip back to Universal Studios Hollywood because this thing is going to be absolutely bonkers and we have to ride this. I don't even know how tall that is. It's very hard to tell. I don't know the stats on this thing yet, but like, this is tall. This is not a small element. The amount of expletives that I'm hearing as people are walking by looking at this thing, they're like, holy you-know-what. So yeah, this is going to be a hit. This is going to be a huge hit. And then off in the distance, there's another look at that sound wall going in, connecting the larger steel beams with the smaller ones. and that will come all the way up over here. You can see the footings for all of that, and I'm sure they'll continue down over here as well. And then a little update on the Theme Park Obsession YouTube office. Yeah, work is moving along pretty nicely. I don't think too many changes have happened since my last video, but hey, it is moving forward nonetheless. Okay, there's one more shot, and I'll move on, but there you go. The newest additions to the layout over the escalator. Switching gears to the hillside. They don't have to worry about watering this because of the rainstorm that we just had, so that's good. And crews haven't really done anything to this spot just yet. It's been looking like this for a couple weeks now, so I don't know if they'll get to it a little bit later or if they'll get to it tomorrow. You know, I don't know the timeline of this. It's kind of random, so I'll be keeping an eye on it every once in a while. I won't showcase it in every video from here on out, but you know, like every couple weeks I'll check in on it. Still have no clue what they're going to be doing here. This could just be an infrastructure project. And then off in the distance behind Transformers, I know a lot of people have been talking about the lumber that is behind that attraction, and speculation has started for Halloween Horror Nights. Now, I think that's a little too early to be staging lumber for Halloween Horror Nights. I think what this is for Fan Fest. So I think that's what all that is for. I don't think it's for Horror Nights just yet. We probably won't see Horror Nights construction until maybe March or April. That's usually when they start these ones that are located back over here. Now, John Murdy did confirm that a house is going behind Revenge of the Mummy, so we might see that one sometime in March and April. And then we're not really sure of the confirmation of a house behind Transformers, but like in years past, they might put one back there if they're going to have the same amount of haunted houses this year. So I'll keep an eye on that. And again, that one will probably go up around the same time frame as this one does. This is a fun shot right here, just because it looks like the track is glowing from the sun. I love that. Nice and shiny. I'm gonna make my way back up to the upper lot. I'm not gonna ride the studio tour today. I mean, I could ride it to get a closer look at the sound wall off in the distance, but I don't think I'm gonna do it this time. Maybe on the next video next week, I'll jump over there to get those shots. But one thing I just thought about is I wonder if there's gonna be some airtime right here. Because on Velocicoaster, it has two elements that are very similar to this right out the gate, like right at the start of the ride. And you do get these like random pops of airtime in those moments. So I wonder if this one will have a similar pop. This element's a little bit more spread out. It's not as tight as Velocicoasters, but it does beg the question, yeah, will we get a nice little surprise in this corner of the layout? Okay, so really quickly, future Dylan here again. As I'm editing the video, I just had another like thought. So the valley that's right after the stall, that segment that dips down before we go over the escalator, the more I'm looking at it, the more I'm thinking maybe there won't be an additional launch there, like a little boost. We might have enough momentum to get us over the escalator after the stall. So if that's the case, one, we're not going to be going through that turn very quickly over the escalator. We might get some really nice hang time in that spot. And two, that means the launch after the dive loop, that turnaround by the firehouse, that launch is going to be very powerful because it has to give us enough speed to, one, get that elevation change, and two, give us enough momentum to then get us all the way over the escalator. Because I'm not seeing the same infrastructure like at the start of the ride where the LSMs are located right at the beginning or at the block break section. I'm not seeing any sort of similarities there. All I'm seeing is just support columns. So maybe they just haven't gotten to that part yet, and they'll eventually install the infrastructure needed for the LSM boost. But for right now, the more I'm looking at it, I don't think we're going to have a boost there at all. So we might just have enough momentum to get over the escalator. Oh, look at this. The lockers that they had over here under the Universal Plaza Tower are gone. They disappeared. It's like the Twilight Zone. The plaza is still walled up, by the way. They're still taking down a lot of the Grinchmas stuff. But we do know that the Fan Fest nights will have a little entertainment venue going on in the plaza. So maybe that's why they're kind of taking their time on it. There's no need to take the walls down when they're just going to put them right back up to install the Fan Fest stuff. So this will probably be walled up until April. Okay, that's pretty much all the work, like all the major work happening on the inside of the park. that is noteworthy. We're gonna move on to City Walk because there's a lot happening there. And then I'll check back up on the surface lot, the Woody Woodpecker lot, because I'm curious how many more trees they took down. So let's do that next. I think the park closes at like 6 or 7 tonight. So a few more hours, and yeah, there's just really nobody today. So again, a perfect day to be here to enjoy the rides. Here at Popcornopolis, the marquee sign has officially been taken down. Those popcorn lights are no more. Still no development over there at the old Crepe Cafe. I'm making my way to where Buca di Beppo and Margaritaville are because they're working on the iFly, the former iFly spot, doing some heavy construction over there. And then the Insomnia Cookies, still not open just yet. All the marquee signage for the old Sparky's location has been taken down too. Did anyone enjoy some donuts before that closed? I think I've only had their donuts like once or twice. Okay, I've made it to the second deck, and look at this. This is the former iFly location. They've completely demolished the building that sat behind this little tube right here. That's where you did the skydiving simulation. And yeah, that building is gone, totally gone. A couple crew members back there working, but I still have no idea what this is supposed to be. But man, oh man, is it gonna open up a new gateway. You can see all the way over to the studio tour back there. So this is a pretty sizable walkway into whatever they're gonna be doing. But yeah, they tore that building down really, really fast. And then across the way over at the movie theater, still no movement going on over there in front of where they used to have the old kiosks where you can get your tickets. So again, big mysteries here in City Walk, huge question marks everywhere. And it just feels like City Walk is about to go through a huge transformation. It's giving off like abandoned mall vibes right now, just because so much is closed. There is a very big vision going on, and Universal hasn't told us anything just yet, but I'm sure sometime this year they're gonna give us an idea, because I mean, there has to be. There's no way this many things are closed and it's just gonna stay like this. Also, over here by the escalators too, still nothing going on in that corner. Okay, that's pretty much gonna do it for City Walk. Let's move on to Fan Fest nights really quick. Now, for those that don't know, Fan Fest nights is an all-new after-hours event here at Universal Studios Hollywood, premiering in April. It runs select nights near the end of April into May. There's not that many nights. Tickets are on sale right now, and I'll try to remember to leave the link down below in the description so you can purchase your tickets. I'm sure they'll sell out. But the park invited me out the other day to preview some of the festivities that they're gonna have at Fan Fest. So huge shout out to Universal Studios. Thank you so much for inviting me out. First and foremost, I will say this. I am not a fan of, well, I shouldn't say I'm not a fan. I am not that interested in Dungeons and Dragons, Star Trek, the anime stuff. I just never got into it. I do like some sci-fi and fantasy. Like I do love the Lord of the Rings series. So maybe in the future, Fan Fest nights will do a Lord of the Rings thing. But I just haven't dabbled too much into it. Back to the Future, I don't even remember the last time I saw a Back to the Future movie, so I'm gonna have to rewatch them. But yeah, I just have never been a huge fan of any of that stuff. It just hasn't been on my radar because my main focus has been theme parks. I'm a theme park enthusiast, and that is my life. So going into the presentation, I was like, okay, let's see what Universal has to offer, because there are a lot of fans of Dungeons and Dragons and One Piece and Jujutsu Kaisen, I think is the other anime, and then Star Trek. I will say that I was thoroughly impressed. I was impressed with what they showed off for the Fan Fest nights. I think this is going to be a really good after-hours event. And for the value, like the price that you pay to get into the event, which I think pricing starts at $74, $75, for that money, you get quite a bit included. And then on top of that, they have all the food and beverage and the merchandise and all that fun stuff. But just face value, I think this event is going to be fun for people like me that aren't really familiar with these particular IPs. I think if you just go, you can find the joy in it and have a great time regardless. And if I do go, I think I'm going to have a great time, because what they were showing us at the little press event was amazing. Think of this event as a Halloween Horror Nights event. It's very similar how it's structured. There's live entertainment, there are walkthrough experiences, and the way they've done the tickets is very similar to Halloween Horror Nights. They have early admission available, they have a regular just general admission ticket, they have a day-night combo ticket, and they have a multi-day ticket, so you can go for 2 days if you want to, which I feel like you might need to because of all the things that are offered. And they even have multi-night passes that you can purchase, and you can go to multiple nights. You can go to a bunch of different nights. And then the event starts at 7 p.m. and goes all the way up until 2 a.m. So again, yeah, it's essentially a Halloween Horror Nights, but instead of it being terrifying and scary, it's, you know, for sci-fi and fantasy fans. It's really well done. I think the structure works with Halloween Horror Nights, so yeah, why not apply that with other things? Now, really quickly, let me just run you through some of the entertainment that's offered here. It's like from the gate, it's pretty amazing. They're going to have these zones. Instead of it being scare zones, they're going to call them, I think, fan zones. And you'll be able to experience some of your favorite anime characters in these zones. I think it's in the front half of the park. There's going to be walkthrough experiences based on Star Trek and Dungeons and Dragons. And those are going to be really cool. You'll also be able to jump on a tram that will drop you off at Courthouse Square in the back lot. And they've recreated the whole thing from Back to the Future down there with included live entertainment, these entertainment moments that happen throughout the night, and some special surprises that will happen throughout the night as well. Super Nintendo World's open, which will have a drone show, and you'll be able to get a chance to meet Yoshi and some friends. The Wizarding World of Harry Potter will be open, where you'll get a chance to meet some magical creatures, and an all-new nighttime show is going over there as well. The same one that's over in Orlando, Hogwarts Forever. They're bringing that over here for FanFest. And then the rides and attractions that you like, you know, Jurassic World, Mummy, Transformers, all those rides will be open. Then they have a bunch of food and merchandise. And the food was insane. They gave us a preview of the food. I didn't eat any of it, so I don't know how good it tastes. I'm sure most of it was amazing. Maybe all of it was amazing. The reason why I didn't try any is because I had to go to the gym afterwards, and I wasn't going to drink a bunch of alcohol and eat a bunch of sweets before I did a workout. But it looked really, really good. The food looked incredible. And then in the plaza, they're going to be doing live entertainment there. They're going to be doing a DJ moment where you can listen to music and dance the night away. There's going to be a cosplay thing where you can, I don't know if it's like a contest or whatever. I'll have to read the press release again. And I forgot what they had mentioned in the presentation, but you'll be able to cosplay in the plaza. And there's gonna be photo ops with some of your favorite characters and stuff. Like it is insane. And when you compare it to Disney's after-hour events, it is like, for the money, a way better value. Like, FanFest Nights, in my opinion, crushes any of those Disney after-hours events, because of what they're offering you here for 75 bucks, starting out at 75 bucks. Disney, it's like $150, and you have those photo ops that you wait in really long lines for, and you have an awkward interaction for like 2 seconds. They have some, parades or whatever. Sometimes they do fireworks, sometimes they don't. And then the rest of it's just like dance parties. Whereas here, there are multiple nighttime shows, photo ops, you got the attractions, you get the backlot thing where you can go on the actual set of the Back to the Future films. Like that in itself right there, I've been fortunate enough to walk on that set a few times, and it's amazing. So that alone is worth the price. Disney's not offering anything like that, and I have a feeling that after this event has concluded, Disney's going to be eyeballing the heck out of this and what the possibilities can be for their future events. Because yeah, looking at it face value, FanFest Nights is hands down the better bang for your buck. And yeah, like I've been saying for a long time that Disney should do walkthrough experiences when they do these after-hour events. Well, Universal's doing it. They've mastered it for Halloween Horror Nights, and now they're applying the same formula to Star Trek and Dungeons and Dragons. So there you go. There'll be post experiences, and you'll be immersed in these huge environments. So yeah, I think it's going to be a really cool experience, and I think it's going to sell out. I think there are a lot of fans of these IPs, and I think Universal has a huge hit on their hands. So FanFest Nights tickets are now on sale, If you're watching this video far off in the future, then obviously the event might be done, but starts in April, goes into May, select nights, 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. It looks really promising. And again, this is coming from somebody who's not like busting down the door for Dungeons and Dragons and all that kind of stuff. From what I saw, I was like, this is really cool. I think this is gonna be cool. Okay, I've made it back to the surface lot. It looks like they only took down, oh wait, no, they took down 2 palm trees, okay. Yeah, that's the second one they took down. So they still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them to go. And then maybe those ones around the corner if they decide to keep going all the way to where the security check is. And still no movement on the surface itself, like the black top. And pavers down there, I'll zoom in a little bit now that the construction workers have gone home. But yeah, they're removing the pavers and they're putting them back on pallets so they can probably get ready to tear up the lot itself. But yeah, a lot of work happening at Universal Studios on new projects, and of course they're probably building out the Fan Fest nights thing. It's like I've said a million times over, I sound like a broken record here. It is so exciting to see Universal really push the boundaries and push the rest of the industry forward. That's the thing with Universal, like they're being aggressive right now, which forces other people to be aggressive. They have to keep up. So really exciting times. I think 2025 is going to be an amazing year, not just for Universal, but for a bunch of different parks. It's going to be a lot of coverage here on the channel, and I can't wait to see all of this develop. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Here's one more look. I was able to get a little bit closer because a lot of these cars are out of the lot. They took down those trees too on the far end. There used to be some big trees like those guys over there and off in the distance. They were right here. They just took those down as well. And it looks like another palm tree in this corner. Exciting stuff. And with that, I think that is going to do it. I think I covered pretty much all the major stuff. Yeah, we got the coaster in there. We talked about Fan Fest nights, which is, again, pretty exciting. Surface lot, City Walk. Yeah, helicopters. Yeah, I think I got it all. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, you can let me know by smashing the thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel and you love these videos from Universal Studios Hollywood or some of your other favorite theme parks, because I cover a bunch of them, you should consider subscribing, because I'm approaching 100,000 subscribers, which is amazing. I can't believe it. It's insane that the milestone is going to be happening here very, very soon. So yeah, if you're not already subscribed, you should totally do that. It's free. It doesn't cost a thing. And that way you can always stay up to date on every time I post a new video too. And yeah, don't forget to follow me on Blue Sky, X, Instagram, all that fun stuff. Those links will be down below in the description. But until the next video, I hope you have a beautiful day, morning, evening, whatever it is. And I'll see you next time in the parks. Bye.